So the Tikvah program is an overnight camping program for campers with a whole range of special needs. The Tikvah program actually has 4 components at Camp Ramah in New England. Amitzim, which means brave ones in Hebrew, is for campers approximately ages 13 through 18. They live in bunks on the B side of camp with the older neurotypical campers, and they participate in the whole range of camp activities. They get up, they do morning prayers, they go to the dining room for arochat boker, breakfast, and then their day of activities starts like every other camper. They have shira rikud, singing and dancing. They have a Yahadut class, a Jewish studies class. They have a sports program, a gam for swimming, electives, the whole range of camp programs. When they complete the Amitzim program, then move on to our Tochnit Avodah. They move on to our vocational training program. Campers in the Voc Ed program spend about 3 hours a day at job sites throughout camp, like the kitchen. Many of them work in the merkaz, sorting and delivering mail and packages. Some of them work in the gan with staff children. Some of them work as assistants to people on the sports staff and the Amanut art department staff. The other half of the day is spent doing personal fitness and nutrition, learning how to cook, learning computer skills, and also participating in recreational activities. A handful of those Voc Eders will then be invited to be full staff members in what we call the post-Voc Ed program. A number of them really fully run and operate our guest house. Some of them also work in other jobs throughout camp, but they're full staff members. They can go to staff activities, they have days off of camp. And those have been the 3 traditional components of the Tikvah program. Approximately 10 years ago, parents asked us about a more inclusive model offering inclusion camping to campers with special needs. So inclusion meant taking some campers with special needs, having them fully participating in typical divisions in camp. The only difference is that the bunks with those campers would have an additional counselor. The counselor would not be a one-to-one counselor, the counselor would not be a shadow counselor. All the kids in the bunk would simply have 3 counselors and all would benefit. Several bunks have been made accessible with ramps and bathrooms for people with mobility issues. And we also, at this point, have a real continuum of services in our Tikvah program.
One of the things as a concerned father for my little girl is, and my wife will bear me out on this, it's always a safety issue, and I'm a nut about that. And when she goes to camp, I know she's safe.
The thought of having a vulnerable kid with a disability going away for 2 months and having other campers and other adults around him not really knowing exactly what was going to happen was a leap of faith. But it was really one of the best decisions we've ever made.
I think one of the most important questions to ask is, how do you train your counselors? How do you take care of the kids? How do you make sure everything is going as well as it possibly can?
If we do see a behavior in a child, we may call the family and say, nothing to get alarmed about, just want to let you know this is a behavior we're observing. How have you handled this in the past? What's worked, what hasn't worked?
They have a wonderful training program. Nobody there is working off the cuff, and they all have mentors. They all have somebody above them who are worried and looking at and taking care of and making sure that things are working right. They follow and listen and care about our input to what our children are all about, and then they have information that we never knew about either that they impart to us.
Over and over again, you see kids who take a little bit of a risk because they have so much support to try something new, to grow and to learn a skill, and then they come back and they feel so good about it. That's what camp's all about.
All right, this has got to be in the camp video.
Campers really come from all over. We have campers from the Boston area, from the Washington, D.C. area. We have 2 campers from Memphis, Tennessee. We've had campers from Kansas and Iowa. But the one common theme is that their families don't feel appropriately included in the Jewish community.
Unfortunately, Sam doesn't get a lot of exposure to Judaism in the 10 months outside of camp, but fortunately he gets such a healthy dose here. And it's so wonderful when we come and visit and see him praying with the group, when we see him using Hebrew words.
And they lead a song in Hebrew. They do a dance in Hebrew. They participate fully in services. The campers lead services. We have some campers who would benefit by more mainstreaming opportunities, more participation with other different adult. So even though a camper might be based in the Tikvah program, we have a camper who runs on the track team. We have campers who participate in cooking or boating elective. I think the other big strength of the Tikvah program is its ability to change attitudes among staff and campers. And some of those campers will come back on staff, some of them will go into human service fields, some will become psychiatrists or social workers or occupational therapists, and others simply become better citizens of the world. Obviously it benefits our campers tremendously, but it really helps change attitudes throughout the camp and throughout the Jewish world.
One of the best things about being in the Tikvah program is that a child with disabilities now has peers to relate to all day long, all night long, in a variety of activities.
I don't think I've ever seen anywhere the counselors that I've seen in the Amitzim bunks, the dedication, the caring, there is such a thing as doing 200%, and that's what they do.